Let's slide into our first segment, Neighborhood Watch. Normally, this is where we talk about what's happening on campus.
But since it's winter break,
And nothing much is going on.
everyone went home,
Offices are quiet.
and the decorations are out for no one to look at.
And honestly, it just feels right.
Since campus is calm, it's the perfect moment to talk to people who run the halls year-round.
The individuals who support students, build community, and keep everything moving.
Please welcome our residential life leaders, Allison, Ouellette,
And Coach T, Terrance Brown.
Thank you both for joining us today. You guys play a major role in students living on campus.
Yeah, we're so glad to have you. So let's jump into the first question.
So, to the question that never dies,
What is the actual difference between a hall and a dorm? Because that causes so much drama.
It really does. I'm going to give you a little bit of the academic reason for it. Okay, so when higher education was kind of first started, you're thinking like boarding school kind of vibes, right? So you're like, you went away from your family to live at school while you went to college. Like, and it was just very much like there's a phrase called in loco parentis, right? Like higher education was meant to be like your kind of your parents. They're helping you to form your moral and academic self, right? But things have changed over time with higher education, and higher education is no longer responsible for like being your parents. It's actually shifted a lot more into now we help you to develop as your own person and kind of help you to navigate the world on your own. So in that way, as populations of college students have changed, so has the role of housing on campus. And so a lot of what happens with higher education housing professionals is that we now have residential life and housing. So housing is kind of the occupancy management, right? You live on campus. There's maintenance things that come up. I mean, there's all that kind of management of your experience physically living in a building. But residential life was added into that as a way to like intentionally focus on living with others in community, teaching you all the things that you need to know to be a successful human in the world and to be better after leaving us. So that's also changed. The language also shifted to residential life. And so we have residence halls. And the short version is that a dorm is where you live, but a residence hall or dorm is where you sleep, and a residence hall is where you live. And so I think we all know that language is really important, how we talk about things, the words that we use. And so sometimes when you just minimize what we do down to dorm, it feels like that we are just all the professional work that we do to make students feel comfortable, like they belong in school, they're included here. It kind of just makes our work feel small. And there's actually so much more to what we do to make sure that students are successful during their time in college.
That's a great answer. So on to the next question.
So don't get offended by this setup. You guys still look young enough to be carded at Chili's, but when you guys were in undergrad,
Were either of you RAs, and what kind of RA were you?
Unfortunately, I was not an RA. I never wanted to be an RA. It was never something that crossed my path. During all of my 4 years plus my victory lap, I did a bunch of student leadership work and student engagement. So majority of my focus was focused on engagement.
And but with that engagement, you're now over housing, correct?
I'm associate director of housing and
Social
residential
director?
life.
Okay.
Yes. So I learned that I have a bunch of transferable skills that I was able to gather in student engagement. And when I transitioned from housing, from a student engagement professional, I was able to take those same skills and then make housing better or residential life better.
And Will, same for me. So actually, when I got out of high school, I went to community college first before transferring to a four-year school. And so I also did not enter housing and live as a freshman in the residence halls. I lived at home. So college is not necessarily, cookie cutter experience for students, right? We offer that experience here. And so we feel passionately about over the years of experience that we have that this, if you are choosing to live at college during your first semester, first 2 years or whatever of school, of college, that we're here to help you with that transition. But I also was not an RA, but my connection to housing was that when I did transfer to the 4 years school, I did live in a residence hall even as a junior and senior, and I said, you know what would be super convenient is if I worked at the front desk. So I was looking for student employment like every other student. And I was like, so I got a job as working at the front desk and doing like security overnight where you turn out some of the lights and things and do rounds. And so that was my first introduction to housing and working in housing, and to really thinking about imagining what living in working in higher education would be like. So and then I've been working in housing really ever since.
That's a great answer.
Thanks.
Breaking Code 101 is Coach T.
It's an alarm. It's not my actual phone. I put my phones on silence. Sorry, guys. But I would like to double back. Allison said something that made me remember. So I never was an RA, but I was I did work study in Dawson Hall at the wonderful Lincoln University of Missouri, where we sweat white and we bleed blue, and we will forever love our dear LU. We are the only HBCU founded by Civil War veterans. So I did spend a year working in Dawson Hall, which made me realize I did not want to be an RA. So I wanted to make sure we correlate that, the reason why I didn't do that.
So if you were students at Avila, what hall would you live in and why?
So I'm a little bit older than Terrance. And I worked in housing a little bit more before he did. And I am partial to a traditional residence hall style. So I would say for me, if Carondelet was open, I would prefer Carondelet. But Buchanan, it's recently renovated. It's nice, but I prefer for that first year experience for you to be living with a roommate in, a shared space.
Shout out to C Block.
For me, I have two halls. So I would live in Thompson because of the it's the most closest thing to the type of hall I lived in undergrad. And then I would live in Villa for the freedom, the space. You can do a lot more. Like I'm an interior decorator. As you all can see, I am a jack of many trades. So I feel like I could do more with that space than I could do with Thompson. And plus you have it's more your own than you sharing with three other people.
D1 Yapper.
But I do like that what Avila has to offer is a variety of experiences, because the reality is like it grows along with you. So you may start out in kind of crash course learning how to live with others. And then you're like, okay, I did that. Now I only want to share a bathroom with somebody or a living room space. And I do want some private space. And I think that that's an appropriate thing to do developmentally.
And Villa gives you the most real world access to living in the actual apartment, knowing like, all right, you have neighbors and you have to respect your neighbors and quiet hours and things that you would think that will only be relevant in a residential hall. You get that same experience over in Villa before you transition into a real world apartment complex.
Yeah. So you guys see students change and grow and navigate challenges every year.
So here's our final question. What is one thing that you wish every student could understand about community, responsibility, and personal growth?
I will build upon what Allison said earlier in the interview. The whole point about this is development. So when you leave out of here with your academic degree, your diploma, certificate, whatever you leave here with, you can go into the real world and have a understanding and to be able to foster what you learn to replicate it in the real world. Higher ed was really created to make sure to help these students develop, and so it's more than just academically. Like we helping you develop mentally, socially, economically. It's so many things that we're responsible for as higher ed professionals, especially in housing and residential life. When you leave through these doors and you get your degree, you're going into the real world. When you go and get your apartment, when you go try to get a loan for a house, when you do all of these things, no one's looking at you like a recent graduate. They're looking at you like a real person in the world. So we wouldn't do our due diligence if we let you leave here without developing you and cultivating some type of development. So when you go into the real world, you can stand on your own too.
Okay. For me, I think one thing I would really like for students to kind of take away from their experience or way to think about the things that you mentioned, whether it be community or personal responsibility or accountability or things, is that just realizing that you're going to make mistakes along the way. And I just have noticed that it can be really hard for people to persist in college and their experiences if there's challenges along the way. And I just really want students to just remember that you're a student here in the classroom. You're going to make mistakes in the classroom and also in real life. And that something that housing and residential life does is that we also help you navigate those things, much like one of your instructor or a tutor or somebody might say, hey, that's okay. You didn't do so well on that test, but you desire to do better, right? Like we kind of help you realize, kind of get you back up on your feet, a little bit and say, so those are kind of maybe the day-to-day interactions. And then, yes, this big picture of like, this is all on purpose. This is all meant to get you ready to move out and not be within our, purview anymore. But on the day-to-day level, like sometimes you're going to get called out. Sometimes you need to be able to be willing to face, like, I do want to be better. And that means that I'm going to have to hear feedback. I'm going to have folks give me some talking to sometimes. That's part of the process.
Thank you both for those great answers. Okay, so we're going to play Side of the Fence. It's a quick this or that game. So you have to answer quickly without any hesitation. You guys ready?
Okay.
Single room or double room?
Double room.
Single room.
Okay, Halloween or Christmas?
Halloween.
Christmas.
Yes.
The best. It's the best season.
Snickers or M&M's?
Peanut or
M&Ms.
original?
Oh, no, just you get to pick one or the other.
Snicker.
M&M's. Okay, okay.
Okay, so for the decor style in the rooms, do you like maximalism or minimalism?
Minimalism.
Maximum.
We're not surprised anymore that you just want to be like Allison and Terrance are on opposite sides of the fence.
I told you I was an interior designer, so minimal it wouldn't really work with me.
All right. Thanks. So Christmas tree before Thanksgiving or after Thanksgiving?
Oh, before.
After.
Oh, wait, after. Wait, what's the question?
Christmas tree before or after Thanksgiving?
So some people put it up during Halloween.
Oh.
Like right after Halloween. So
Okay, I guess I would say after Thanksgiving, but honestly, whatever's most practical.
I am a
Based on my
equal
calendar.
holiday.
Observer,
So every
yeah.
single holiday gets its own time. So Halloween gets its own time. Thanksgiving gets its own
Yes.
time. Christmas gets its own time. Christmas needs its own 25 days. So stop putting that Christmas tree up before Christmas.
Okay.
I'm passionate about this one.
okay.
Keep that tree down until after Thanksgiving. I don't want to see no Christmas
One
tree
thing we agree
decorations.
on is equal opportunity.
Yes, I love.
Time.
Hey, we need all 25 days of Christmas. It's the best time of the year. It makes everyone happy.
And then we already know what happens after.
It's
her
Allison's
birthday.
birthday. Watch out, Jesus. Here come Allison.
Wow.
We love
It's
you.
true.
God bless you.
It's true. I love Jesus and my birthday.
Amen.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, so do you guys prefer quiet living or like do you prefer people being loud?
I actually prefer people being loud.
Really?
I love a joyful living space. And joy sounds like noise. Sounds like singing. Sounds like video games. It sounds like
yeah.
arguments because sometimes things get out of control. Yep.
This is probably going to surprise you, but I'm definitely a loud living type of person. I'm the oldest of 7 kids. And so it's always been hard for me to live by myself. Like, I would rather live in an apartment than a house because I need people making noise around me. Now, I might still complain, but I need the noise around me.
Yeah. Terrance and I, that's one thing that we definitely have in common is we're community people. We're extroverted. We want people to relationships with people is how you get through.
Yeah.
You get the good times and the not so good.
All right. So we have one more question. Moving day. Exciting or overwhelming?
For whom? Admittedly, it's both, but it's definitely overwhelming. It's overwhelming for parents and students and employees alike, but it is the start of something new, and so it is also very exciting. You can't just pick one, but probably initially I'd have to say overwhelming.
And for me, I'm on the opposite side. I'm more excited. I'm more overwhelmed during move out. because everyone needs
Interesting.
extended time, and everyone needs this and everyone needs that. Like, no, I want you all to go home so we can enjoy our break. I'm more excited for people to move in because I get to meet amazing people, amazing parents, guardians, friends, family. When it's time to check out, good riddance. I'll see you all in January.
All right. Well, that's all the questions we have for y'all. So thank you once more for coming on to the podcast and just talking to us and talking to the community.
Yeah, we had so much fun. Thank you so much.
Yes, thanks for having us.
Before we continue, we have a holiday message from our interim president, Dr. Andy Jett.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Andy Jett, president of Avila University.
And I'm Molly Bramer, ready for Christmas break and maybe a nap or two.
This season reminds us of Christ's light, hope, and love in the world.
And the season of hot cocoa, matching pajamas, and pretending we're not so recovering from finals.
At Avila, our Catholic tradition encourages us to reflect on peace, compassion, and caring for one another.
And to give from the heart, unless it's fruitcake, in which that case, give it to someone else.
I think that's fair.
Merry Christmas and blessings from Avila University.
Thank you, Dr. Jett.
Now let's have some fun with this holiday season. Okay, so we asked around campus what their holiday hot takes are. So let's get started. And these are opinions, not facts, and I'm gonna judge you anyway. So the first one is, Elf and Home Alone are the best Christmas movies by far. I'm not sure if this is a hot take, but yeah, Home Alone was a really good movie. Home Alone sucks. I don't agree with that. And I think that you should go to jail for one day for that one. Elf is not the greatest Christmas movie. I mean, it was mid, and yeah, I guess I agree with that one too. Presents are overrated. Depends on what you got. If you got something bad, yeah, sure. Peppermints are overrated. I don't want to know how your breath smells. Elf on the Shelf is stupid. I never had Elf on the Shelf, so I can't really state my opinion on that one. The Christmas tree should not be up before Thanksgiving. Okay, so I put my Christmas tree up like the week of Thanksgiving, so I don't agree with you. Eggnog is disgusting, and if you drink it, something is wrong with you. I mean, yeah, it sounds disgusting. I've never drank it, but I don't think I want to drink raw eggs. And yeah, that's all the hot takes I've read so far, and that's all the ones we got. So thank you so much for joining me reading these holiday hot takes. So today's Front Porch Secret is somebody who's involved in campus and known for his leadership and presence on campus.
And it's too cold outside, so we had to do a little studio secret. Introducing our studio secret guest with a great story in hand for y'all is Mr. Amari Leath.
What's going on, Avila in the world? How y'all doing? Thank you for having me.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. So like, where did you graduate college? Where'd you grow up? And what do you do here at Avila?
Okay, so, well, first and foremost, my name is Amari Leath. I'm the coordinator of student engagement and leadership here at Avila University. I was born in Orlando, Florida, but I grew up in Jacksonville, Florida. I was there for pretty much my entire life throughout college. And one fun fact about me, I would say my favorite color is blue. And I think I missed something. What was your third question that you asked?
So, where did you graduate college?
There we go. All right, the first HBCU in the state of Florida, Edward Waters University. I'm a proud alum of that institution. They did a lot for me, so I'm proud to be able to represent them.
That's what's up, man. You from Duval. Yeah, Duval County. So just tell us, what's your personal story that you want to say, your secret that helped you get through college?
So my secret, I would say, is it's important to truly like be yourself. I was always told like your gifts will make room for you at the table, and it sounds cliche, but me, I was more so of somebody that was in the background. Like I'm not too extroverted. I was never like on the scene. But one thing that I really enjoyed doing was my photography. I was very creative. Didn't really say much, but I was always everywhere taking pictures. So from there, that brought me into student leadership, and that pretty much changed my entire life. And it taught me a valuable lesson, like you don't have to be, in order to gain people's respect, in order to lead individuals, you don't have to be loud, you don't have to be aggressive. You can just really like be you, stay true to you, treat people well, and do right by people, and people will follow after you. So that really taught me just to lean into myself, and I don't have to change anything about myself. Or, you know, whoever's watching, you don't have to change anything about yourself either. Just truly, whatever you love to do it, and do it to the best of your abilities, and make sure like the world knows like, hey, this is what I want to do. After that, everything else will follow. So
That was
That's
a great
knowledge.
answer.
Yeah, that's knowledge right there. Yeah, I mean, also just I'm interested in your tattoos. Like,
okay.
can you take us through just like the story of a couple of them?
Right. So, yeah, I have a quite a few. So I'll start with my very first one. This is my grandfather's name. He passed away when I was like young. I was only in the first grade from cancer, but he loved to play the guitar. He was a musician. So this is he gave me a guitar similar to this one that's at my mom's house, but that's what this represents. The second one that I got, it was this one. It was a Sphinx. I was really into like Egyptian culture, so this was my second one, and I wanted it to be a sleeve, and so that's how this one followed. But this one is my mom's name. We had a cartouche. We had like the whole family had one. They ended up getting stolen like a long, long time ago, and there was only one left, and I'm not sure where that one is. But this is my mom's name, and there was one with my dad's name. It had all of our names, but the majority of them, they got stolen when our house got broken into a long time ago. So basketball, my favorite sport. I'm from Orlando, of course, so had to get Orlando Magic. My dad's family, they're all athletes, played basketball, grew up around the sport. Let's see, this is an interesting one. My favorite cartoon or anime, if you'll call it, is the Boondocks.
Hey.
So this is Huey's head, and he's actually on Vegeta's body. So that's a pretty interesting one.
Yeah.
And then these two were just like creative pieces. I literally just told my artist like, hey, make something cool. And yeah, this is what he came up with. So that's how I ended up with these two. This is my name, Amari. It says blessed. And then this is my birth year, 1998, which I actually turned 27 on the 29th. So birthday coming up.
Happy early birthday.
Yeah, thank you.
Early birthday, man.
This is something that I live by, so it's by any means necessary, and it's a quote from Malcolm X. But I strive to believe you got to pursue success in your dreams by any means necessary. You can't stop even when life gets hard. You just got to keep going. You got to have that grit inside you. This is a skyline. So my favorite thing in photography that really like did a lot for me and put my name on the map really in Jacksonville was I was doing like skylines. I was very artistic, trying to display. Well, not trying to. I was displaying my artwork in different shows across the city, and architecture. There's a lot of architecture work in a lot of creative ways. So I was very inspired by buildings, how the light hits them, how it looks so vibrant, how at certain times the shadows fall a different way. I was very inspired by that. So that's what this represents. And yeah, that's
Thank you for that tour.
Yeah, thank you for the
Thanks for
tour.
asking.
So in the comments, let the brother know how much aura he got for all those tattoos.
So 4 years in college is a really long time. Do you have an interesting story you want to share?
Okay, I'll talk about my journey into becoming an alpha man. So if you're unaware, Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated is the first Black Greek letter organization. And so some notable alphas, I'll include the most, I guess, known, but there are plenty of amazing ones. Martin Luther King, Jesse Owens, Thurgood Marshall. all of those brothers were members of Alpha Alpha Fraternity Incorporated.
I think you forgetting one, and that's my pops.
Yes.
He an alpha man too. Yeah.
Can't forget.
And my old high school principal, Dr. Allen. But sorry to interrupt.
No,
But
all valid. So when you're joining a D9 organization, it can be a very challenging process as to one, you have to have the GPA in order to get in. So my freshman year, my GPA, I didn't have the GPA quite yet, but it's important to still attend events from your freshman year. When the fraternity puts on events on campus, it's important that you go out, you speak to people, you meet people. So I decided to go to the interest meeting anyways, but the important thing is you have to wear a certain attire, and it's very strict. So it was business professional, right? So I showed up in a white collared shirt, gray slacks, dress shoes, and I'm thinking, okay, this is perfect. I arrived there early. Everyone's in their black suits, white shirts, ties. I'm the only one with a regular collared shirt on like this. So the meeting gets started, and then shortly after, it was being conducted by the district director. In the middle of it, he calls out a couple of us, and my name is one of them. He tells us, stand up, right? And then tells us to go outside. We go outside. He comes out, and he's like, you're not wearing the right attire. And then, so my heart starts racing. I'm like, this is all that I have. And he's like, well, you should have asked somebody. If you didn't know what business professional was, why didn't you reach out and ask somebody? So you can't come back because it's business professional, you don't have the right attire on. So I'm just like, oh man, I got kicked out of the interest meeting. But one of my now, we call them pro fights. They're members of the organization that crossed before you. So he let me go to his house. He had a blazer I could use, gave me this blazer, and then I borrowed a bow tie, the most outrageous bow tie, but I'm still looking crazy. So I have a white polo on, a giant blazer, and this crazy wooden bow tie. And I threw this on knowing I looked ridiculous, absurd. And I went back in the room, and they let me in there. I looked outrageous, and I still had to get up in front of everybody that has the right attire on. I had to get up, stand up, stick my chest out, introduce myself, my name, my major, and why I'm interested in the organization. And so what that taught me then is even if I'm wrong or I made a mistake, it's important to still own it, stick your chest out, and continue. Even I could have, been nervous, like, I'm not going to come back. I'm not going to walk in there even though I have the wrong thing on. They let me back in. I was like, you know what? I made a mistake, but I'm going to keep the show rolling. And that moment then taught me mistakes doesn't matter. So, of course, I didn't make it that year. Following year, I also didn't make it. So it actually took me 3 tries before I successfully crossed. And that taught me, like, the things that you want in life, sometimes it's not going to come immediately. You're going to have to try and try again. And it'll be times to where you get so close, like you can grab it and it's right there in front of you. And sometimes it just fades away. But even in those moments, you still have to keep going. If you want it, you gotta go and get it, even if you're failing. So that's what that process taught me. Like, I even to this date, like the things that I want in life, I could have the worst mess up or mistake. I'm not gonna quit. I'm gonna keep going until I get it down pat. So that's what that taught me. And that was my journey into becoming an alpha man.
that's real talk. And third time's a charm. That's truly something I never believed in, but now that you said that, and it's been happening to me a couple times, right. I'm not gonna lie, in the past few months. So I'm gonna start believing in luck a little bit. But first and foremost, believe in God.
God.
So I never catch you like slacking. You're always dressed in business casual.
Oh yeah.
Is that also like the origin story of why?
Yes, and there's another aspect to it. So I'm a former HBCU king. Similar to homecoming royalty, except this is at HBCUs. It's a very big part of the culture. It's taken very seriously, and it's looked at like nationally. You have to compete in a pageant on the school level and on the national level, as Mark Davis would know as well. So it's a very serious thing. You're expected during your campaign week, you're expected to be dressed up in suits every day. You have to put on programming, community service. You have to compete, all while preparing for the pageant. So you need formal wear. You have to do an oratory, a talent, all of this yourself in the span of like a week, right? So it's many late nights. But if you're fortunate enough to move on and win, you gain the title. So I was the 13th Mr. Edward Waters University. Then you have a royal court. So you have a Miss Freshman, Mr. Freshman, and your reign is the entire school year, right? But you receive your crown on homecoming. So during coronation, but during that whole process, you have to show up all the time dressed nicely. Well-dressed, make sure you speak well, because you're representing the whole campus and the city's watching. Like, I would go to places, like I would go to the gas station and it'll be people that I've never even seen. They'll be like, all right, Mr. Edward Waters, like, because they seen you on social media or during the parade throughout the city. Like, there are people watching. So you always have to, every time you step out the house, make sure, keep your hair well groomed, make sure you dress well. It's very serious and it's very strenuous because it's always eyes watching you, but that just became like a part of my process, a part of the habit, I guess, having to do that every day. Because if you don't want to be the person that misrepresents your school, and then now people at so-and-so school is looking at your campus like, oh, that's their king. Ugh, like he's dirty. Like, what? It happens. So you want to make sure that you when people speak of your school and you're the official representation, you make sure that you have it together and you look polished. So that just became who I am, and it still hasn't left me. So it's just a part of the routine now. So that's
Thank you
why.
for that answer.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Do I look polished today?
Yes, you do. I'm digging the Christmas sweater.
Thank you.
Very festive. I like it.
So that will wrap up Front Porch Secrets, and we are wrapped up in these ugly sweaters.
I need to get one myself.
Yes. Hey, you look good. You looking fresh.
Hey,
Fresh. Like the
appreciate
cut
you, sir.
too.
Likewise, man.
Thank you, and we just thank you for being here to talk to us about just your Front Porch Secret or studio secrets.
Thank you for having me.
Excited. Before we wrap up, thank you to Allison, Terrance, and Amari for joining us.
And thank you to everybody listening to us during winter break.
So rest, recharge, and do not check Canvas. Merry Christmas and happy holidays. We'll see you next time, neighbor.